To Waverley Park for the second of the quarterfinals. St Kilda and Brisbane, as Lee Matthews told you, a number of changes to the Saints with four of their biggest out and a free kick immediately to Everitt in the centre. Kevin Bartlett working this game with us, with Russell Morris on the boundary line in much better conditions than last night. And the Saints and Brisbane were both very impressive in beating Hawthorn and Carlton respectively. Shane Wakeland's handball had a bit on it. Opportunity there for Smith, and I think he might have kicked it immediately. What a great start. The Saints away with a fly here, and they congregate around him and let him know that they're happy with it. Jackson had it smothered, back to Everitt. We know he can kick a goal, Everitt. That's not bad, it's close. Bouncing. Hit the post after all of that.
And Everitt as a ruckman is pushing forward. It varies in the game these days, but he plays as a ruckman forward, Everitt, so he's pushing forward, making Clark chase him into that part of the ground.
John Russo with us. That ball hitting the post, but not 3 points.
That's right. I think the umpire has considered that it came off the player's hands, and that's why it hit the post, rather than directly from the kick.
The 50, hanging on down there, must be a free kick, and it will go to Craig Starcevich. Disappointing year last year, Lee, one of your old players, premiership players.
Yes, didn't play much senior football for the Bears. He really, this would certainly be a crossroads year for Craig. He'll have to make it this year, I would say.
And Ashcroft on the front of the pack has kicked a goal.
Scott, inside 50, good kick. And Brisbane attacking strongly there. Bit of a pinch hitter, Leppitsch. On and off the bench, can kick goals. This is from the reverse angle, so we've got a pretty good guide here. It's going to kick from about 40 metres. Looks good off the boots. Great kick as a goal.
This Leppitsch is one of that fairly large group of Bears players that were picked early in drafts over the last 2 or 3 years. It's now his third year in league football.
Ashcroft has been very handy so far, and Starcevich playing in front of Sirakoski takes the mark. So usually a beautiful kick. He's put into the square. Leppitsch reads it well. One can see Leppitsch playing close to Roger Merritt. Bit of protection up there. An acute angle, but Leppitsch drills it. Has he kicked it? He has.
Kicks towards centre wing. Scott again having an impact here. It's a centre half or good kick. Leppitsch onto it. And he can kick this, as we've seen already tonight. A personal one. Kicks from about 48 metres. Good kick again. He's got it.
Also no mark.
So picked up by Beveridge on 50. He's a goal kicker, but the kick's a poor one. Chance in a wild fresh air shot by Jackson. Picked up by Beveridge. Can he atone? He does.
Darryl Wakeland out wide looking for Lappin. Robbins with him. Shaw. Last opportunity for St Kilda. Need a mark. Or Beveridge missed it. And they'll pay for it. So at half-time, the Bears are a couple of goals in front. They're 4-3 to 2-3. That to follow. Russell Morris, I know, Russell, you spoke to Stan Alves about selection tonight. Why did he leave out the big four?
Yes, Bruce, look, Stan was pretty relaxed earlier in the rooms. He talked about before the match, they all went for a bit of a swim, and I think there's a prospect of players playing the equivalent of nearly 2 games over the weekend. So that's why they also left out Shanahan and Vidovic, 2 of the best players from last night. So I don't think it really matters. If they win tonight, it's a bit of a bonus. Then they'll bring the players in tomorrow. So it's one of those things that Barney mentioned before about player management. They've got to look after the players. I've spoken to the Bears as well. They went swimming this morning, and it's all about fatigue injuries. That no one wants to have a torn hamstring or a torn calf or anything like that. So it's just looking after themselves.
Thanks for that, Russell. Let's have a look, John Russo, who's our guest umpire at this decision against Kennedy.
It does look as though he forces the ball through for a behind. He also gets a bit of a shove in the back, doesn't he? Front on, it'll probably be clearer.
So 3 points given against St Kilda. Rush 3 points.
Behind. That's the difficult one where two players are contesting the ball because, you know, in a way, what other option did the player have? If he wanted to get in front, the ball was going to touch him last. And if he stayed behind, then he ran the risk of giving away a goal. So it's...
We'll see Joel Smith. His eyes on the ball. Just couldn't quite get it. That's when you can get hurt in league football, if you just don't take it on the first grab. Sierakowski kicks the ball back where we see Ashcroft take the mark. Outstanding in the first quarter for the Bears. It's a lovely kick by Ashcroft. He's kicked a goal.
What a good player he's been, Ashcroft. Been a club vice-captain for a couple of years. Played a lot of football for a 24-year-old. Neat player. That one didn't quite get there. White, Mercurial, he's got it. Bears going well.
But the free kick given away and goes to Jackson.
About 80 metres from goal, goes in short. Smith has looked the most dangerous of the St Kilda forwards. He goes towards Everitt at full forward. Oh, Sierakowski. It's a free kick to Everitt. Paid before that. Spectacular attempt by Sierakowski from the side.
It was probably the video actually only caught the tail end of it. He was holding onto his jumper from fairly early on.
We see Zilla can't take it, but Ashcroft does, and the Bears are away.
As they've been for a lot of the night. As Lee said earlier, their defence has been excellent. Well played, Lappin. He has got some skills. Bit of Darryl White about him at times, and goes long with a penetrating kick, too far on that occasion, and the mark taken by Kennedy. Worth has come onto the ground for Brisbane, playing at full forward. This is Cripps. Had a fair bit of the football. It's his 10th kick coming up. Goes across the ground, but the siren sounds, and Brisbane 6-7 have defeated St Kilda 3-3. And Lee, they're looking, oh, look at the blood there, unfortunately. They're looking pretty good, the Bears, aren't they?
They are. I mean, they're very quick. They look very fit. They've got a half a dozen of their very good players not playing, but that younger brigade, Collingwood, as we mentioned before, have looked impressive in their couple of early rounds with their younger lights. The younger brigade have done well, and I think that's what the Bears have been going in with, and those two sides have both got to what will be an interesting semi-final tomorrow night.
Just saw how Corcoran damaged his nose. A bit of blood about, completely innocently. So the scores here, Brisbane 6-7, St Kilda 3-3.